Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Cryptopolitan, your total source for all blockchain and cryptocurrency news. I'm your host, Satoshi Shawn. Let's get into today's stories for today, April 24th, 2019. Head over to the Cryptopolitan news site. I had went over yesterday how China was going to most likely be enacting and issuing its own cryptocurrency. And I want to talk a little bit more about governments in general, and some of the news stories that are coming out. One, continuing with Asia, one of the top stories is that South Koreans are pouring more money than ever into crypto. Now, this is retail investors in South Korea, um, and the average that they're putting in. They're putting in a lot more, and the total interest in cryptocurrency. This isn't to be confused with their government investments, which a couple months ago or weeks ago, the South Korea Capital Fund, the Seoul Metropolitan Government said that they were going to be investing $1 billion US dollars into the Seoul Innovations Growth Fund, which is going to focus on investing that money directly into blockchain and fintech startups and companies by the year 2022, I believe. So the South Korean government is very, very interested in cryptocurrency and in blockchain in general. Um, I think that a lot of countries are moving towards that, either out of fear and wanting to control it, which I think is probably one of the main focuses that the reason that China will be issuing one, or out of pure necessity, which countries, which I think is going to really push the adoption when governments really start turning towards blockchain and cryptocurrency in general in countries with bad inflation, um, corruption, just out of, like I said, a basic necessity. But getting back to the story, in South Korea, the world market buzz is on South Korean investment cryptocurrency market are surging, even though we've had a really bad bear market. The average investment rate in South Korea is approximately $6,000 per person, or per investor. Now, what I think is really, really interesting about South Korea in general when compared to the rest of the world, um, previous year, a survey from a nonprofit Making Institute exposed that approximately 7.5% of the total 2,500 adults that they surveyed expressed that they had purchased cryptocurrency. Now, in the United States and most Western countries, this number is barely or even high in a lot of places of people that have heard of cryptocurrency. This is 7.5% of people that have actually invested in cryptocurrency, which that's a huge, huge number. If we were on a world, I think the people that actually know about crypto is like 1.5 on the total world. When you look at the world market, if it was up to 7.5, it would make the 2017 bull run look like a bear market. So this is really, really exciting. I really hope that South Korea really leads the way when it comes to the rest of Asia. South Korea and Japan also are really leading the way when it comes to crypto and to blockchain. Now moving over to more regulatory news. Over the Thai SEC. According to the media reports, Thai authorities affirmed that Thailand's linked security token offerings in the global arcades to be illegitimate. They further held that their SEC is set to take suitable legal feet to deal with the firms distributing Thai STOs to external markets. Now, last year, the SEC in Thailand formally endorsed enumerated ICOs and permitted the forms to allow token sales after they went for assistance with their commission. Media reports stated that the SEC permitted the exchange of 7 virtual currencies and all market participants requiring to seek approval from the Ministry of Finance and register themselves within 3 months of the day of effect. Enactment of this new policy indicates that the inclination of the Thai government for assistance in the development of native cryptocurrency startups. Notably, the SEC's decision revealed the determination of the Thai government in helping lay the foundations for STO and ICO projects. Like I said, I really think that Asia, Middle East, and Africa are going to lead the way when it comes to pushing mass adoption and regulatory involvement. I really think the US SEC is going to really kind of just follow suit when it comes to this, and in Britain as well. Um, it's one of the first times that the United States regulatory agencies are kind of taking a back seat to it. Um, but I think that's where a lot of the new laws are going to come from, is from that region. Now, getting back to what I said about government adoption and cryptocurrency and the different reasons for it, whether it's out of fear to control, or it's things like Venezuela or here in Afghanistan. Afghanistan is turning to Bitcoin for post-war developments. Um, a lot of countries with like a hyperinflation, or their economies are just crumbling, like Afghanistan. Um, Real, honest government leaders that want to help their country and help their people, if they can see the advantages and the positivity of blockchain and cryptocurrencies. Um, Khalil Sadiq, the governor of the Central Bank of Afghanistan, expressed that the initiative of the issuance of a digital ratified government bond to investors over blockchain could be helpful. Afghanistan's a war-torn country. It's also known as the graveyard of great empires. It's struggling to stabilize its economy after decades of war. With, I mean, all the superpowers have kind of been through there, whether it's the United States, the former Soviet Union. Um, but almost 25% of the population of Afghanistan is unemployed and poor. Capital, labor, trade, and infrastructure and transport are all crippled, which kind of happens when there's decades and decades of war, and a country doesn't have a time to really bounce back and work on those things like infrastructure and things like that. There's a lot of agricultural things, and some of them are not legal, but they had stuff in the story, which you can head over to the Cryptopolitan and read about it. It talks about how Afghanistan is really rich with mineral resources like lithium and other things, gold, oil. There's a lot of stuff there in Afghanistan, but lithium is one of the main focuses of what they had talked about, which is really, really needed, especially with solar power, with electronics. If that could be, focused on without constant war and turmoil there, I mean, the country could really bounce back. The governor, Khalid Sadiq, believes that Bitcoin can pave the way for Afghanistans to enter into this international market. So by kind of, going with decentralization, with Bitcoin, that's a huge thing. That's a huge thing. And if Bitcoin could help Afghanistan, I mean, Afghanistan is one of, like I said, it's been decades between, the massive powers, the Soviet Union, the United States. It's been constantly in the middle. If Bitcoin could be the success story of that country, it would be one of the most amazing, pardon the term, but coups when it would come to financial markets. So really excited about that. And next, we'll move over to some more regulatory stuff. An Israeli man is indicted in $9 million crypto dash scam. It's not really a scam. It's in the scam news. If you go to scam and you click on that, it'll take you to a page with all the different scam stories. Like I've said, everything with the Cryptopolitan is laid out. Easy to find whatever you're looking for, whatever kind of news you're looking for. But on this, there we go. There's two parts to this story that I found were interesting and a little bit unnerving, a little scary. One is reported in the local news on Thursday, 18th April, that FXR is facing charges for stealing 75,000 Dash. That's a ridiculous amount of Dash, worth over $9 million. Right now, bear market, one of the lowest prices for Dash in a long, long time, still worth $9 million from this guy, whose name is difficult to pronounce, who is his roommate. Now, the reported amount stolen of the coins is over some 85% of the overall Dash circulating supply. This is what is scary to me. This one guy, now he's been accumulating crypto for years and years, for a long time. So He's technically like a crypto OG. I can see how he would have accumulated a ton of Dash. And if you can imagine back in 2017 when Dash was worth, you know, a lot more, how much more money this would be. But it really harkens back to a centralization. This one guy had been able to accumulate that much Dash, one of the most biggest privacy coins, pushing decentralization, pushing privacy, anonymity, all that. And this one guy had 85% of the circulating supply in a computer in his house or in his apartment. Um, it's just something to really think about, and how small our market is right now. Now, how I mean, Dash, like I said, is one of the biggest ones. They have Dash Force One, one of the coolest jets out there. If you haven't seen that, Google it. It's really cool. They've backed television shows. They're one of the most prevalent cryptocurrencies. I think they are like the most prevalent cryptocurrencies in mainstream, besides Bitcoin. When you look at like Doge and other things, they may be bigger, in the meme culture or whatever. But when it comes to on TV, in ads everywhere, Dash is, I think, the biggest one besides Bitcoin. And we're still in such an infancy stage of our market that this one guy had that much of the circulating supply on his laptop. Just something to think about. I just getting a little bit more about going over the Cryptopolitan and our site. This last thing here is you can just click on this events tab, and it'll take you to all the current events that we have up. The right now what's going on is Blockchain Life. These are actually hyperlinks. If you click on one, it'll take you to the event page itself. So that's going on right now. If you are, it's in Singapore, I believe. Yep, if you're in Singapore, you can head over there and check that summit out. That's it for today. If it's your first time here, please hit that subscribe button and hit the bell for notification. Crush that like button. Leave me a comment and I'll get back with you. I really enjoy interacting with you guys. I'm Satoshi Sean. Thanks. You take care. I'll see you in the next video.